6. What are your communication strengths? Communication is key in any position. Specifically, with a data analyst role, you will be expected to successfully present your findings and collaborate with the team. Assure them of your ability to communicate with an answer like this: "My greatest communication strength would have to be my ability to relay information. I'm good at speaking in a simple, yet effective manner, so that even people who aren't familiar with the terms can grasp the overall concepts. I think communication is extremely valuable in a role like this, specifically when presenting my findings, so that everyone understands the overall message." 7. How do you handle pressure and stress? The best way to answer this question is to give an example of how you have handled stress in a previous job. That way, the interviewer can get a clear picture of how well you work in stressful situations. Avoid mentioning a time when you put yourself in a needlessly stressful situation. Rather, describe a time when you were given a difficult task or multiple assignments and rose to the occasion. "I actually work better under pressure, and I've found that I enjoy working in a challenging environment. I thrive under quick deadlines and multiple projects. I find that when I'm under the pressure of a deadline, I can do some of my highest quality work. For example, I once had 3 large projects due in the same week, which was a lot of pressure. However, because I created a schedule that detailed how I would break down each project into small assignments, I completed all 3 projects ahead of time and avoided additional stress." 8. What are your long-term goals? Knowing what the company wants will help you emphasize your ability to solve their problems. Do not discuss your personal goals outside of work, such as having a family or traveling around the world, in response to this question. This information is not relevant. Instead, stick to something work-related like this: "My long-term goals involved growing with a company where I can continue to learn, take on additional responsibilities, and contribute as much value as I can. I love that your company emphasizes professional development opportunities. I intend to take advantage of all of these." 9. Why should we hire you? In asking this question, the interviewer is really asking, what makes you the best fit for this position? Your answer should be a concise sales pitch that explains what you have to offer the employer. Keep it short and confident. Sample answer: "I have the knowledge, experience, and excellent communication ability to be an asset to your company." 10. Do you have any questions? At the close of the interview, most interviewers ask whether you have any questions about the job or company. It's always a good idea to have a few ready so that you show you've prepared for the interview and have thought about some things relative to the company or to the role that you would like to explore further. Questions about the role: this is a unique opportunity to learn more about what you'll do if it hasn't already been thoroughly covered in the earlier part of the interview. For example, can you share more about the day-to-day responsibilities of this position? What's a typical day like? Questions about the company or the interviewer: this is also a good opportunity to get a sense of company culture and how the company is doing. What's the company organization and culture like? It's important to be prepared to respond effectively to the interview questions that employers typically ask at job interviews. Since these questions are so common, hiring managers and interviewers will expect you to be able to answer them smoothly and without hesitation. You don't need to memorize your answers to the point you sound like a robot, but do think about what you're going to say so you're not put on the spot during the job interview. Practice with a friend so you're familiar and comfortable with the questions. Good luck. As a trained data analyst, a world of opportunities is open to you. Like with any interview, it's important to ensure that you present a professional impression. Dress smartly, offer a firm handshake, always maintain eye contact, and act confidently. as well as technical skills. Employers want to assess whether you will fit into their company in a personal sense. It's important to always be positive and friendly. Interviews can be scary. If you don't feel well prepared, stress and nervousness can take over. What if you had a list of 10 questions that you may be asked by the interviewer so that you feel prepared and confident? Right here, we have the answer. Below you will find questions that you can practice with in advance and gain the confidence you need to walk into your interview assertive and prepared. 1. Why do you want to be a data analyst? There are many roles out there for data analysts within various industries. This question will tell the interviewer about your thought process in choosing this role. Answer this question with the STAR method by explaining the key reasons you want to be a data analyst as well as which key skills you have for the role. A data analyst's job is to take data and use it to help companies make better business decisions. I'm good with numbers, collecting data, and market research. I chose this role because it encompasses the skills I'm good at, and I find data and marketing research interesting. 2. Which area would you prefer to work in, and why? There are many different types of data analyst, including operations analysts, marketing analysts, financial analysts, and more. Explain which type you prefer. Be specific in your answer to indicate to the interviewer that you've done your research. You might answer something like this: I would prefer to work as a marketing analyst because it's in line with my skills and interests. In addition, I have seen that the companies who hire for this role work in industries that are booming and can therefore provide good career growth. 3. Which data analyst software are you trained in? This question tells the interviewer if you have the hard skills needed and can provide insight into what areas you might need training in. It's also another way to ensure basic competency. In your answer, include the software the job had emphasized, any experience with that software you have, and use familiar terminology. Here's a sample answer: I have a breadth of software experience. For example, at my current employer, I do a lot of ELKI data management and data mining algorithms. I can also create databases in Access and make tables in Excel. 4. What was your most difficult data analysis project? With a question like this, the interviewer is gaining insight into how you approach and solve problems. It also provides an idea of the type of work you have already done. Be sure to explain the event, action, and result. Here, avoid blaming others and explain why this project was difficult. My most difficult project was on endangered animals. I had to predict how many animals would survive to 2020, 2050, and 2100. Before this, I dealt with data that was already there, with events that had already happened. So, I researched the various habitats, the animals' predators and other factors, and did my predictions. I have high confidence in the results. 5. Take a few minutes to explain how you would estimate how many tourists visit Paris every May. Many interviewers ask you this type of behavioral questions to see an analyst's thought process without the help of computers and data sets. After all, technology is only as good and reliable as the people behind it. In your answer include how you identified the variables, how you communicated them, and ideas you had to find the answer. This example answer touches on all these points. First, I would gather data on how many people live in Paris, how many tourists visit in May, and their average length of stay. I'd break down the numbers by age, gender, and income, and find the numbers on how many vacation days and bank holidays there are in France. I'd also figure out if the tourist office had any data I could look at